All right, hello and welcome to the Oasis 13. It's your host Imani. And I got a guest up here with me today. It's Malcolm from One Stranger Official. So I'm gonna have Malcolm introduce himself and what One Stranger Official is about.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for Imani for having me on your podcast. First one, One Stranger Official is a production company, creative house. We're here to just to tell stories, different people in different ways, whether it be through video, photo, just different ways to tell people stories. I'm Malcolm. I met Imani back in Virginia Beach. We went to the same high school, Lansdowne. Shout out 7-5. You,
Right. Old
right.
high school days.
You
All
already
right.
know.
Yep, and it's good to link back up. Um, so I have you up here today because I saw your One Stranger Official Productions, and I think it's really good. And, I like how you tell stories. I like how you tell stories, from our perspective about like our community. I think that's really important. And I feel like shows like so we had Martin, all the Spike Lee joints, what is it? A Different World and Live in Color, all of those were like so important to our community. And I want to know like why do you think it's so why do you think it's so important for those stories to be told like from our perspectives about us?
Yeah, you just named all the best shows in the 90s. So like um they're important because black creators can only tell their story the right way. You can't have someone else tell your story honestly, not the full way. They can be a business head over it, but they're going to need some type of creative inspiration from someone that's directly lived and been through this actual situation. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So no school can give you that experience. You know what I mean? So I just feel like these stories, especially the ones that I try to tell at One Stranger, just the ones I want to help people tell, are the ones that they probably don't want to tell, the ones they probably don't want to share, the ones that are probably cause a lot of controversy. Those are the type of stories that we want to share because it's real. You know what I mean? So and
Mm-hmm.
that real is gonna hit. It's gonna hit. You ain't got to do no extra. It's gonna hit because it's real.
Right. Yeah, real is not always what people want. They want to be lied to and like, everything's good, but we already know that ain't the truth.
Exactly.
Mhm. So,
Exactly.
tell me a time like when the portrayal of how they portray like, us in the media, it's always like this one image. Tell me a time when you think that may have affected you maybe positively and a time when it affected you negatively.
Mm, yeah, yeah, that's crazy because I can use like the earliest example of something like just his story, like what's it called? I think The Woods, or is it The Woods, or
The
is it
Wood, the
not
movie.
the movie The Wood that I know it's crazy right now that it's like a I feel like it has multiple episodes. It's like a slave story. They got whipped on the back.
Oh, you're talking about oh, I feel so bad that I
You
cannot
know that
remember the name.
Obi, I can't, man.
Hold on, we're gonna have to cut this out
Roots,
because
roots,
yeah,
roots, roots.
roots. Okay, yeah.
Crazy. We supposed to know that.
Right? Oh shit. All right. Well, it's all right. It's all right. But
I
we know
gotta
what we was talking about.
Exactly. I gotta look up who even made that whole thing of reality like production. But no, Roots is my auntie. I remember going to my cousin's house and my grandma's house and my auntie house when I was a little kid, like 6, 7, 8. And they made me watch Roots. Before then, I was only watching Blue's Clues and Power Rangers and anything that was funny and just Boy Meets World or just anything that was cool. But they would like sit down, watch Roots. And
Mhm.
yeah, they now being 25, looking back at it, it affected me positively and negatively, but I kept living with it because it was just like something that you seen that was, I guess, so you don't, it's like the same question we get asked right now when Ava DuVernay, she makes the, when they kill us or when they
When they
see
see
us,
us. Mhm.
it's like people, even from the own, like our Black community, some people it's split in terms of why y'all keep making this type of stuff, why y'all keep showing this type of stuff on TV. We don't want to see it. It's tired, even from our own Black people. So you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But then some people are just like, we need to see this and we need to watch this, and this is the story that needs to be shown.
Right.
So you know, it's like a split down the middle. But that's how it was with me, positive and negative. Like as that little boy, I didn't really understand the ramifications of like slavery all the way, but I was still like, yo, should I even be watching this? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
and being these people like, or oh no, I need to be watching this because it's what inspired me to be who I am today. You know what I mean? Just keep going with it, understand, ask those questions, and then take all that energy and just rechannel it into something positive. You know what I mean? So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah,
I remember my mom made me watch that too. I mean, I feel like that was the reality for a lot of, little Black kids. And, they made us watch that whole series and it was like not comfortable. It was like, oh my, like that shit hurt. Like that happened, like watching that, like, it hurts and it's just like, it makes you want to cry, it gets you mad, all of that. But like you said, it is necessary, to tell that side too. But I can't see where people come from, like when they say, the same, we got to tell the same story sometimes, because like where I can agree with them with that is like, so I don't like when they put the videos out of like people actually dying like in real time, like
yeah,
how they're
me neither.
doing now, when it's not a story of after the fact. It's like somebody dying in real time. We don't need to see that. I feel like because it's like it like at first it was like, oh my God, that's so bad, that's so horrible or whatever. But then like people start getting used to that shit, and I feel like that's not good either,
Definitely has a numbing effect. It has a numbing effect a little bit. I've been numbed
Mm-hmm.
a little, and I was more numb back in Virginia Beach, honestly. Back when I was in Virginia,
Really?
not yeah, not necessarily all the way numb. I still was with the shits a little bit, but I was more open and less with the shits than after I went to college. I went to HBCU and went to Mississippi and experienced it further. And I was like, oh no, this shit's for real. Yeah, I'm with the shits for real now. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
man. That HBCU experience is like, I love it. It was so helpful of like me getting to know myself,
mm,
and like learning more about us as a community. And like one of the things I always say is, um, like it just shows it showed of like how vast we are like as a community, because you got like they always, like I said, they always try to show this like one image of Black people. But then when you go to a HBCU, you see the Black nerds, you see the Black
right,
scientists, like everybody. So it's just like, it's amazing.
that's what's popping about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you could pick, all right, so you already said, the roots, influence you. But like in real life,
Mm,
so, okay, so I'm gonna tell a story first, and then I want you to like piggyback off of that.
mm,
So, when I was like traveling, like in Asia, and because they only see like, a certain image of us, they already have this mindset of us, like when they see us. So I remember like I was in the airport and it was this little girl and she was so fucking scared of me. she was like she was she was like, and you don't know like the reason why, right? I could be assuming, right? But it did make me think like, is she scared of me? Like, because she wasn't running. All the other people was walking by. She wasn't running away from them. I'm the little Black girl and I'm not a big person at all. And so I'm like, why is she like? It just made me think like it's so unfortunate that these images, can hinder us sometimes like that. You know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, socially,
Mhm.
I want.
So, go ahead.
Nah, I wonder what that little girl. It had to be influenced by her parents. She had to be influenced by her parents or something. She
Yeah.
anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And,
Trickle
and
down.
that- yeah, and that's like a thing. Okay, so now you bring up something else. So, I mean, racism is everywhere. And like, so when I was teaching over there and a lot of them were like they would say they mostly only wanted like the white women to be their teachers or whatever because they're like that's oh they speak English because we're supposed to be from Africa, right? They like
So we speak French or something.
yeah. They like this black person can't teach my child English, you know what I mean? So most of them like it would be a thing, especially like in the private schools. Um some of the parents would be like, say something about that if they had a black English teacher. And I'm like, yo, it's so crazy how ignorant y'all are. Like, that's retarded.
You would think in 2020 or like this new millennial age, you would think it's not like that though, because everybody has the internet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like everybody, you would think it's like, come on now.
Yeah, it's like you you really can't have no excuse no more because we all got phones. So I mean, now you just got to do your research, and it's like you don't want to know if you still thinking like that. You just don't want to know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm,
Exactly.
mm. Besides Roots, what was your favorite stories as a kid, like about us?
About us.
Mhm.
Like my favorite movies or stories, because I got it like a difference when it comes to movies versus a story. You know what I mean? It's a blend.
But tell me both.
Favorite movie. Favorite movie. I don't have a number one favorite. I just got to put them all together right here, which is Love and Basketball, The Wood, Pursuit of Happiness,
Hmm.
Friday.
Yeah.
So like, and they all told stories. I loved how real those stories were in all those movies I just named. They were just
Hmm.
all day the life
Hmm.
of a black person's shoes, and it was not just from the main character either. You know what I mean? I like how
Hmm.
they stories of the other characters, how the supporting characters. Because even when the things I try to produce, I always try to think, always even tell the supporting characters like you guys are very important to the story because you guys build up the movie that much more. You know what I mean? Rather than just be centered around the stars. Like no, the stars within the world that also everybody plays their role. So you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
but the wood was my thing just because, it was like that young boy thing, that young boy how to lose. It was
Hmm.
just like thing, it was that young boy thing. Loving
Hmm.
basketball so that was that basketball thing.
Classic, right?
But then when I see Pursuit of Happiness, it just hit me because I was still a kid. I was still a kid. And
Hmm.
like the poorest of the poorest, but we also didn't grow up nowhere near rich. So it's
Hmm.
like seeing that being exemplified in Will Smith in that role. Like he's not like just some like hood guy. You know what I mean? Like he's just not like some uneducated man or something from some type of struggle. He's just a normal, ordinary guy
Right. And he's still in that
on the
situation. Yeah.
that's it, struggling, and you see the grind that he had to put forward to get him and his child out of that situation. So that always hit me. And then what else I named? Friday is just funny as fuck. Oh, but it's funny like how they made that whole movie based around one day. That's the best part. Like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
do a lot of down in this day, like
Like
that's
it'd be funny because it do be like that, like so much shit be happening. You be like, damn, that was one fucking day.
exactly.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta write
as
this down.
soon as I moved to Cali, I seen all the cribs. I'm like, yo, this shit look just like Friday. Like, you ever been to Cali yet?
No,
Gotta come. You gotta come.
I
Gotta,
know. I know. I feel like I'm missing the whole experience. I feel like just, it's like a New York, it's a whole experience.
it is. It is different though, West Coast, but it's definitely like a New York. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Same.
not the same feel, just that it's a whole experience. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, so That had to be really nostalgic though. Like
Mm-hmm.
being there and then being like, yo, this shit looks just like Friday. That sounds exciting.
Definitely out here to this day. I'm like, oh, you kind of see like, especially like being a model and just like being around, working around. It's like you see everything that you see on Instagram. You see everything that you've always seen on TV, but you see it now in real life and in person. So it's just it's kind of like mind blowing because you like it's not as hype as it used to be when you didn't know what it was, but now when you know what it is, it's still legit though. It's still lit. Like it just lets you know that
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Did you go to East where Issa was and Insecure and stuff?
Yeah. I've been there. I just rolled by. I didn't walk up to their doorstep or walk up to like the sign like everybody. Nothing wrong, but I didn't do it. I just rolled by just to see it.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
her.
He
Um,
said,
she's the best. And that's another one that I feel like I appreciate her storytelling because it's like, again, she tells from a different perspective, of a Black woman. And, we not all this, it's not all this type of way, she's a different type of Black woman. So, a lot of, awkward Black girls appreciate her telling, their side as well. And then, just it's always good to have like, dating shows and showing that as well, and I feel like um hers is one of those shows where like men and women can enjoy it, you know?
exactly, because it doesn't lean too much, even with the main character being Issa and her friend, but it doesn't. I enjoy it. I watched it even when it was just a web series, but a girl did put me on back in college,
Yeah,
and
that's mostly how it happens. The girl put you on,
yeah,
but then you keep watching.
exactly. I got into it. We watched like 3 episodes together. I'm like, yo, I love this shit. Like, it's, I like Issa because she blends it. I love when shows and the directors and the producers, the writers. I love when they blend Blackness. They don't just make it like one thing. I love when they show all spectrums of it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yes, because it's like anybody can relate. Because she got the hood dude up there. Stories, Lordy, now I'm losing my thought. The blood, and then Lawrence, who I feel like a lot of dudes appreciated his character
Yeah,
too because he's like the good guy. I feel like,
when we try to
and
do right.
yeah, yeah.
He messed up. Bro. He messed up. They challenges, but Lawrence is definitely the character that I related to the most. You know what I mean? Like, come on, yo, like, come on,
It's
give him a
so
chance.
funny. So many guys say that.
Yeah, especially when you
Why
try to do,
though?
because he's just that normal guy. He's that normal guy that's like working a job. You know what I mean? Just loving his girl. But I mean, he also got his eyes on other women. You know what I mean? So he's
Well,
no
I mean, he
saint.
never cheat. I mean, you're not gonna not have eyes for other people when you're in a relationship. That's unrealistic. But where he messed up was he he just like women really look at what the fuck you're doing with your life. And because he was not doing anything, that was really unattractive, even though he's like, I've been trying and I'm trying to set this app up, but he got too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, both of them made mistakes because she should have told that to him. She should have communicated that to him instead of like not saying anything, and maybe it could have ended up different than it is now. But still a good story.
Exactly. It's the timing of everything. It's the alignment of everything. Sometimes things have to blow up and go wrong just so that individual person can get that boost to get whatever they need. So that's what I liked
Mm-hmm.
about it. Not like a
Mm-hmm.
typical story, mushy, well, happy ending. It's like, no, let's show the ups and downs, the waves of real relationships, You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I like about Insecure. That's what I like about The Shot too. That's what I like.
Man, I gotta get back on the Shy. But what you was saying about like the ups and downs. So I do like that too because I feel like a lot of people get like confused about what relationships are actually, like they get confused about just life in general. Like they romanticize it, and it's like y'all know shit is like like in real life, things
Yeah,
go wrong and
yeah,
it's not always as it seems, and nothing is ever like that's why it gets on my nerves when like these Instagram like influencers, only show one part of their experience, like so if they're traveling the world, you know, and they're showing you all the places they're going to and it looks so bomb and it looks so good, but you don't see like maybe people are coming in and out of their life. They don't have like a good community as you would if you were settled in one place. It's just you got to have visa runs, all that stuff. So it's just like you said, I appreciate people who show both sides because it's never, you know.
yeah. I think it's harder to show both sides though. It's like a two-part thing. Like one is harder because it's more vulnerable. Just up front, it's more you got to be more vulnerable. But then two, you don't really know. Obviously, they say like don't care about acceptance or don't care about validation, but you don't even know the purpose behind sometimes sharing that story or being that vulnerable. Like
What you
you don't
mean?
you don't know directly who you're going to affect or who you're going to inspire. You don't know directly like why. If everybody's doing it this way and it's working, they always say like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously, that's where innovation comes in, and then you say something new and you pull back the curtain, but at your own pace. Though, I always tell people at their own pace. You know what I mean? At your own time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to explain that because I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Like,
So go ahead.
no, no, no. What you mean? What you don't understand?
So you saying that people you're saying that people should get to that point themselves, like of being showing the more vulnerable side, is what you saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like my nephew, for I ain't gonna. I'm not calling out my nephew or singling out my nephew, but just anybody. If he only posts dance videos, smoking, and skateboarding, people think that of him, but they don't know who he is. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
always tell them, even if you were to post God quotes and whatever, it's like that's still not all just you. You know what I mean?
right.
So when people just only look at one lens, which is what usually people do, because like I said, that's just, hey, get on Instagram and do this and put it on YouTube and do this, or hey, show up like this when you meet somebody in person like this. And so everybody's just looking for that. I call it instant gratification, that quick validation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pulling back the curtain takes I think personally a longer time. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah. Yeah,
you
definitely.
reach that stage of I'm ready to actually do this, and you understand why you're doing it. Some people may not. I've
That's
done it.
true.
I've done it in both. I've done it all type of ways. I've been vulnerable because I needed to. Sometimes because I did it when I didn't have to. Been shy
Mm-hmm.
when I was supposed to be. You know what I mean? I've done all different types of situations. So I'm just pulling it together. Like it's never just all what you see. You know what I mean? It's
Right, right,
never
right.
never that. So when people think like that, it's just like. But I don't assume when I see somebody post something like this, they're that way either, because I give people that chance to
To
show
be
themselves.
something else. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So basically, so we already know like once you present yourself to the world, people are already gonna put you in a box anyways. And then I guess that would make it harder if you want to present like another facet of yourself, but it's like totally different from how people know you. And then it would be like, because we're all, I mean, yeah, we're all basically trying to you know, like you said, gratification. And then you're like, oh, what if I lose my following? What if they don't like it? But, like
Exactly.
that's part of you. So it is difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult, and you just gotta wing it. I kind of just wing it. I mean, I try to stay as vulnerable as possible and real as possible, but even me, I don't. It has to be at the right time now. You know what I mean? I used to be just
Mm-hmm.
all showing everything. You know what I mean? Because I
Mm-hmm.
give a fuck. But like presentation and professionalism and treating it like a real thing like that. But I still love. That's my favorite part, pulling the curtains back. I just have to do it when I'm ready to in the right way, not instead of just
Not
brash.
just, yeah, because some people, like you said, some people probably do it, for clout, just to get, like, oh, this the new thing, yeah, let me do this. But they don't really, they're not doing it for the right reasons. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly.
Um, can you summarize your? You kind of already said You like to basically show what's real, you know, but summarize with like the encompass everything of what your purpose of being a storyteller is.
Yeah, you be asking good questions, questions that you got to think about, like exactly what to say. But um, I think the number one purpose behind it all is those same stories that I'm trying to tell were stories that inspired me. You know what I mean? So I know it may not pay off profit wise the first story you tell all the way, or the first book you write all the way, or the first episode you do all the way. But if you can inspire someone and connect that with someone, that's going to take you. That's actual energy and that's actual light inside a human body. You know what I mean? And that's going to last and go way further as long as you keep nurturing that light and you keep expanding it. So that's like all I really want to do. You know what I mean? With every little project. So that's my main purpose behind that, telling stories. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
got stuff want to say, but they keep it bottled in. That's my problem. That's actually still my problem. You know what I mean? Like I don't lash out because I'm just trying to keep it all tucked in or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll snap on my friend over something dumb little. He probably did something wrong, but it was super little. But I just let it all out. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that. The reason why I'm doing all this creativity is because it's therapeutic for me. It's therapeutic for me to, especially acting or directing or writing or producing or just anything, helping people that's not me, hopping outside of myself, having to put myself in their shoes and see how we can get this thing to roll. You know what I mean? I got to feel what they feel and then in some way, shape, or form, and then get it out to the people so they can feel the same thing. And it's like, that's like therapeutic to me because I know everybody in that, who's ever felt that feeling right there in that creative space, felt that energy. You know what I mean? And we go,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like the number one why I want to do this.
That's what's up. It sounds so powerful. And I can see how that would, just make you feel good. Like after you produce something and you can see like what you meant to convey, or even if they take it a different way than how you meant it, as long as they relate to it, that's just.
As long as they feel it, it's what
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. Even if you don't like it, hey, you felt it.
Right.
Did you passionate or did you really watch it and you don't like it? That's amazing. Let me know all about it. You know what I mean?
Right,
'Cause
right, 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 right.
you
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
something. You know what I mean? That means you felt something. So
yeah.
that means I got the job done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever gotten feedback that really touched you?
Touch me like negatively or positively or both.
Let's start with the positive.
Positive. Yeah. Yeah. The positive feedback is amazing from everybody, even you when you reached out, or just anybody that reaches out, people from anybody. When people reach out and they say something and they acknowledge it, and I'm like, wow, like, like
Makes you
thank you.
want to keep going.
Definitely make me want to keep going. It definitely make me want to keep living in that purpose because it's hitting people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, even like just with my whole purpose, my whole identity. I was always I was a basketball player growing up. I did little artsy stuff here and there. It was fun, creative. I always chased money, but I was just a basketball player. And then when that all fell down, I was like, fuck, obviously I'm gonna keep hooping, but damn,
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
gonna do?
yeah.
It was like feedback within that, just like, hey, you're bigger than just that. Like, okay, let's try this, let's try that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the positive feedback from my family, number one, the family, like, even if they don't agree, that's why I love my family so much. Because even if they don't agree, it's
They still
positive.
support. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They don't never like say something that's like, oh well, it ain't never gonna happen and it can't get done. They don't say those things, but they may not say like, oh, you're gonna be the next Spike Lee either. No, they just gonna keep it real with you. Like, well, from what I see and from what I know, then and that's mostly everybody's. They can only speak from their
But
own personal
right.
view.
Yeah, from their perspective. Yeah.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, you need people like that in your life, that people that's gonna keep it real with you, because you never want somebody that's just, well, some people do, but um it's more beneficial to have people who are actually going to tell you the truth than just like, oh yeah, 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 you're doing good, like you do, you
Yeah,
got it, because then you're never going to grow.
like,
Mhm.
Exactly. Um,
But I wanted to go back to what you said when you were like, it's therapeutic for you. And I can relate to that definitely because it's almost like so on, for the Oasis 13 and, everything that comes out of that is, I'm focused on like self-healing. And so when I put these things out or these discussions, videos, my blog posts or whatever, it's really, like you said, therapeutic for me too. Cause then I'm like sometimes you don't even know how you feel about stuff until you start being creative, and then I can only imagine if you're telling somebody else's story and it might hit you somewhere that you didn't even know that you was like feeling some type of way about, you know what I mean?
for real.
And yeah, and shit, I just forgot what the fuck I was about to say.
No, for real.
Yeah. But so it's just oh, that's what I was gonna say. So it's like because it's like even though like if we might come from different backgrounds or um have different family structures or whatever, it's just like we are really going through the same thing. And
It's
so, what'd you say?
in some way, shape, or form.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's like when you can relate that to other people, it's just like, yo, this shit, we're all going through the same thing, really, you know?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. When I'm out here creating or just working on the project, I always like learn something more about myself, whether it be positive or negative after the project. That's what a good project, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You never said any negative comments you got back. And do those motivate you? Or how do
Like,
you feel about that?
they definitely do. I'm actually inspired more by the negativity than I am the positivity in terms of the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
But me going in terms of like my spirit is the positivity, the love. Because if you just care about what people say or just care about anything negative in your life, no matter if it's what people say or just what's going on, if you
Mm-hmm.
feed that, you're going to be negative all the way. And I've done that before, so you can't lose sight of. Sometimes you just got to know how to drop everything and stop caring about everything, because that's what being the true creative is. Like a true kid to me is like we didn't care about things when we were kids. It was just, oh, I want to do this, or oh, I want to do that, or oh, let me do this, or oh, we didn't care about falling. You know what I mean? So coming back to that place is what the negativity brings me to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I love the negative feedback. I think the most negative feedback I ever get is just really about my personality for the most part. I don't get too much
Really?
negative. Yeah, more so than like my work or anything I've ever created. Because if I put something out, I'm pretty confident in it. You know what I mean? If I put it out, even if somebody don't like it, I kind of don't even hear it. I'll just listen to like their little critiques about, oh, it could have been like this or it could have been like that. But art is subjective anyway.
Right.
So, and I'll just take from that and just keep learning to grow. But really, I like the negative feedbacks about like more so like my approach or the way I'm thinking. You know what I mean? If somebody can see, like if a director or a cameraman or another writer or another actor can, or another model can, or another creative director, or anybody, you know what I mean? If anybody, even a regular person like my sisters, you know what I mean? If they're like, my sisters, well, one of them, she's like a wedding designer, but just anybody that's anybody, if they can see something that I've done and look at it for themselves and even draw a line to my mindset of how I would put themselves in like my shoes of how I would have done this and how they would have done that. Those are the type of negative feedbacks and conversations that I love the most, because that's, I can tell that you're actually diving in instead of just like looking at something and saying, oh, it's too ugly or it's too fat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just all personal opinion. But when you actually take that time to step in that person's shoes, because that's what I would do if I seen your first podcast. I wouldn't just listen to it and just like halfway listen to it. I'm gonna digest it. I'm gonna get it, wait to a couple episodes in. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. But that goes back to that instant gratification thing. Even me, for the most part, everybody only got like 15 seconds. You know what I mean? When they looking at something for the first time, 30
Yeah.
seconds. I mean, with that, are we gonna keep going or not? But once you make it past that, that's when it gets into the meat of like, okay,
Right.
You know what I
That
mean?
yeah. That's so unfortunate, like, that our world is so, like is like that now. It's like the first 15, if you ain't got it, then it's just done. And that's just not fair.
I
That's
know
not fair because it's like I don't know. I feel like that's what holds a lot of people back from not doing what they want to do because they feel like they have to be, at the top of the game when they already start because again, they're scared about how people are going to view it and then oh, if people don't like it and then well, if it's bad when I first start out then nobody's going to, they're not going to be checking for me later, but like I feel like a good example. I feel like so what I want to say is like timing is everything, like you said. And a good example is like Tiana Taylor.
yeah,
So she
she's
been
dope.
doing she been singing or whatever for a long time, but she just now like really blowed up, you know?
Yeah, that's that
And
scene. Yeah,
huh?
to that big Hollywood scene level, to that big. Yeah,
Yeah. But like if she would have given up and been like, "Oh, I guess it's not for me," or just like would listen to what everybody else was saying, she would have never got to where she is now. But it doesn't mean like when she first started off, it doesn't mean like she wasn't, it just wasn't her time. You know what I mean?
for that,
So,
that specific season. Exactly.
yeah.
Like playing basketball, you're not gonna be LeBron James and win 30 rings in a day.
Right.
You got to just get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's like give yourself time to grow. Like, it's, I don't know. I really advocate for that, like, because, that's me. I just start stuff, like I gave you the little message before. I was like, listen, when I first started my podcast, the quality was not that good, but I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. And then I
Exactly.
feel like it's even better when people see my growth,
Exactly.
because then they can look back and be like, oh shoot, she started like that. And then now she gonna be here, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Testament to your character too. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, we
mm,
know your character beyond your work. We're gonna know your character. Like, yo, she's a woman. Like, she's a woman of this statue. You know what I mean? More so than
mm,
just like, oh, whatever you do. You know
mm-hmm,
that respect. Some people still care, but I care about that respect a lot. More so than like what I do. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. What you mean, like you care about how people respect you more than if they like what you do, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I care about that respect in terms of necessarily if you don't want to respect me, you don't have to, but I kind of demand it, in terms of like just the person, the human being, the
Right.
one stranger is about, it's like a human sitting on a globe and we got atom rays around it because it's like we're all just one little like speck in this whole big universe. So if you give respect to get respect type of thing. So, and it's beyond if this person can give you $1,000 or give you an opportunity or $1 million or something like that. You know what I mean? It's cliche, but no, I really try to be like that but then,
Yeah.
aim out here, you know what I mean? People are just everything, but it's what it is. You just got to learn discernment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz some people ain't here for you, They just they be hating cuz you and it's like, but you can't be you and, don't worry about me. Yeah. But what you so I wanted to go back to like when you were talking about respect. So like I automatically thought of like Nipsey.
Mm,
Because he just like I think it was one thing he said. He was like, you don't have to like me or whatever, but you're gonna make sure that you respect me. And even if somebody doesn't like your work, they might come back just because they like who you are, as a person, because they like, okay, maybe I can learn something else from them, even if, you know, I don't really like what they're doing.
yeah,
Hmm.
for real.
Yeah. And that brings me again to like, shit, I forgot my fucking thought.
Nipsey the man up there, though, by the way, in LA. Nipsey, he built his whole thing on. I wasn't even hip to Nipsey Hussle. I'm not going to act like I was just always listening to him. One of
Yeah.
my one of my best friends from basketball, he put me on like my freshman and sophomore year in college. and it was still before he was like mailbox money and the early Nip, like with the big white tees with the braids. And I was like, yo, he,
Yeah.
and then yeah, to see him just grow, keep going, to be a full entrepreneur, to be a full man, you know, not just care about rap all the way, you know what I mean, but
Mm-hmm.
doing rap, but also doing other things, and just that was what the growth, you know what I mean. That's what
Right.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
understand the lifestyle. Yeah,
Yeah, he definitely set like a good template for men, I feel like. And especially that's what I meant to say. That's what I was gonna say. So like it was good, him doing that because he came from a certain background, and it's
mm-hmm.
always like you want to see people who come from the same background as you, you know, it just it hits harder when you see this somebody that you relate to like as a person or who comes from the same background as you and then like and he wasn't just like you said he wasn't just like no regular rappers like a lot of them are. He was a businessman and he was like a good man. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what. Yeah, J. Cole, my favorite rapper though, but we still have to rest.
Yeah, J. Cole is good too. He's a good representation and he's definitely one who pulls that veil back as you say like he shows the real, and we appreciate him for that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right, Malcolm. So, is there any last words that you want to say about the importance of us telling our own stories?
Uh, yeah, just anything for the youth, for real, for real. My main thing right now, moving forward, I just turned 25, so I'm having like not a quarter life crisis, but like a lot of things are just starting to like click in my mind about who I want to be, and just very assured in it. And I'm cool with being wrong, but just to the kids, I just want to inspire my nephews and my nieces and just any other kid to like, so they don't have to go through whatever I had to go through, and so they could just be better than me. You know what I mean? So do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Don't let nobody say you can't do something or you got to be a certain way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The real you. If they don't know the real you, don't even care. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
not you're out the other. You know what I mean? Stevie Wonder to the bullshit. So
Yeah, yeah. What Bernie Mac say? He was like, they don't. He was like, just be you or something, and if they don't like it, fuck them. You know that video?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, tell us where we can find those amazing videos so we all can get inspired.
Oh yeah, check it out. OneStranger.com. I think it's one stranger. Yeah, spelled one stranger without the E.com. Just go there, check it out. We got short film. We got another film coming out. We'll probably preview it next year, sometime like February. It's based on a true story. You actually know the girl. She went to our high school. And
I've
so
seen that though. I was like,
yes,
that looks so good because I know her story.
yeah, exactly. It's a true
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
it's gonna be deep. I think it's gonna be one that hits. It's definitely gonna be one that's fire. And we got new stuff coming. Got merch out. Got books out. So just trying to stay inspired and just help people out. Just be creative and just find their lane in this new 2020 world.
Right. That's what's up. Keep doing what you're doing because, like I said, I am inspired by it. So I know, other
Yeah.
people are.
Thanks for real. Thanks for having me up here. Thanks for having me part of Oasis 13, the first one. This is all dope. I know you're gonna grow. I know it's gonna be popping. You know what I mean? For real, for real.
Thank you. um, and all right, y'all. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. And please remember that your refuge is in your self healing. So heal yourself to find your refuge. Okay? Peace. All right.